They haven't spent $25,000 with a high performance coach.
Thanks.
They ain't done it before. I don't care about no designer clothes you got going on. I don't care about any cars you rented or any condo you're renting out of, bro. I need the results and testimonials of what you're trying to sell me, right?
Why don't you care if people buy from you or not?
Man, I never have. We do 7 figures every single year with no issue. And the reason why people have that type of energy about them, where they need to close that sale, is because they haven't put enough into that person before they spoke to them. People can feel that on the other side. I'm not gonna have millions of watch time hours on my YouTube channel if I'm not good at marketing. I'm not gonna have 80,000 plus subscribers. I'm not gonna have all these people that reached out to me that wanna work with me if I'm not good at marketing. My technique when it comes to marketing is Zoom calls are bullshit. I can't take a shit and be on Zoom with you at the same time. Boss don't have time for that shit.
Tell me, how powerful is a YouTube channel for a business coach?
It's game changer. YouTube is how I made my first $1 million. YouTube sends me a check every month. So think about this. I'm getting paid by YouTube to promote my business.
I ain't never heard nobody put it that way. Experienced entrepreneurs who feel stuck, like they're not moving, they plateaued. What should they do right now to break through and hit that next level in their business? So CJ, tell us a little bit about yourself and what CJU Systems is all about.
Yeah, man. So CJU Systems is a business brand. You know what I'm saying? That branched out from the CJU personal brand. All right, so CJU personal brand is Chris Joseph University. It was a brand built on me helping people understand how to leverage credit. You know what I'm saying? How to build their personal credit, get access to business credit, and leverage that to grow themselves. Now, it's been attached around my personal brand because it's my name. And I came up with that name because I transformed my life through credit and got some results. And I was like, hey, it's an online university because I'm schooling people. So I'm going to just use my name with a university. And that's how we got to CJU, right? And a lot of people follow my personal journey throughout that. Now, I've been teaching that for going on 8 years now. So 8 years of me coaching and teaching about credit and also mindset and personal development under CJU, the personal brand. I've had a lot of successful students come through that. And now they are ready for the next level. They ready for the next step. Talking about like high performance players. There's a few that came out of that I really want to work with more in depth. And that's how we got the CJU Systems. Okay, because now these people, again, want high performance, meaning they want better results in their life, in their personal life, their business life, their personal brand, their business brand. And the only way that's going to work is through a system. Okay, now they haven't developed those skills to implement that system themselves because they were just learning from the beginner game I gave them. And as they was learning that beginner game, I went out and got some advanced game. You know what I'm saying? So now I got a whole structure, a whole system that's all organized, that's a framework that I can implement in them and turn them up. So now that they graduated from just CJU, they ready for CJU Systems. And I'm taking a lot of information from people I learned from, such as Daniel Presley, love his philosophy. Myron Golden, love his philosophy. Russell Brunson, love his philosophy. You know, I just took a combination of those high ticket sales coaches, high performance coaches, and also the big time digital marketers, SaaS teachers, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Eddie Malouf, you know what I'm saying? Max Pearsons, these guys that really create really good systems with go high level and software. And I just took all these high ticket, high performance coaches, mixed in with these software, digital marketer, SaaS coaches, put all that together, mixed in with my own sauce that I got from CJU. And now we got CJU Systems. That's it right there.
Nice, nice. That's a good breakdown to differentiate the, you know, what CJU is and now what CJU Systems has become. Now, you talked about a lot of, you know, your community from CJU graduated into the CJU Systems, but what about entrepreneurs and business owners who are coming to CJU Systems that haven't been through the CJU program before? What problems do you solve for them?
Yeah, so them guys that's coming through that haven't started from CJU and they want to jump straight into CJU Systems, those usually are people that have already built something for themselves, right? Those are people that have been entrepreneurs for a couple years now, and they have a lot of intellectual, properties that they have, and they need help turning it into a product. They need help with turning that intellectual property that they have into a service, right? They need to know how to make money off the information and experiences that they have in their head, and they need to know how to make money off that without taking so much of their time. They need to be able to push that out to a lot of people so they can make a lot of impact and a lot of change and give out a lot of value. And a result of that, they're going to make a lot of money, right? So the problem that I'm solving for them is taking that information in their head and creating a system that allows them to, again, put into a product and a service to reach more people. And a lot of people got the information, they got the value, they got the experience, they even got sauce, but they need to hire a high performance business coach to help them push that out to make more money without taking so much of their time.
Nice. So we all know that you are a high performance business coach. You've built a reputation of being highly skilled in sales, marketing, and systems. Let us know what led you to develop those specific strengths.
Experience, just being in business and coaching and teaching people for, over half a decade now. Like I'm going into, year 10 to where like I didn't weather the storm. I didn't been through the ups and downs. I didn't seen it all. I was an entrepreneur. I started in 2017, 3 years before the pandemic. A lot of people jumped into this space after the pandemic. So I was able to see entrepreneurship, what it looked like before the pandemic, what it looked like right after the pandemic, and now what it looks like in 2025. So I was able to see how online marketing, digital marketing has grown, and the reason why I'm qualified to do this is because I didn't start my brand and my business from just jumping online trying to sell something. That's not how it started. It started from me learning some information, implementing that information into my own life, me transforming my own life, giving that free value out to YouTube. And there's so many people reached out to me from YouTube to where I was like, oh, snap, like, I got to teach these people. And then when the pandemic happened, it exploded, and I had to realize, like, oh, snap, I got to get really good at coaching a lot of people, right? So it's a little easier teaching one-on-one. You might not have to have a complex system, but when you're teaching thousands of people all across the nation, you literally got to dig deep into how to develop these systems to service that many people. And through those many people, it's going to be better people inside of that whole thing that you're building, which is your audience. And they're going to want more help. They're going to want more services. They're going to want to get better results, which is going to force you to get better. So I had to always consistently get better from the impact and the value that I was giving to so many people. And I've been doing it for so many years that I now have the framework and the structure to really guarantee some success to high performance people.
Gotcha. So you've been doing this, you jumped in entrepreneurship in 2017. You've always been doing this for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And you've coached thousands of people. And I'm sure over those 8 years and, all of these people that flow through the CJU ecosystem, you've had a lot of ups and downs. So let us know how you deal with failure.
Yeah, dealing with failure, that's actually the best part of the game. And unless you've been an entrepreneur going on close to 10 years, you might not understand that. That might not sound right, what I just said, because so many new entrepreneurs are so afraid of failure. They're afraid to make a mistake in front of a client. They're afraid to make a mistake online. They're afraid to be embarrassed in front of people, right? And so failure is something they avoid. Once you've been an entrepreneur, for some time now, you really understand that it's the failure and the mistakes where you get the lessons from. Because the wins, you don't learn much from them. The wins just equal some good money and now you can go do something with it. But it's the failures to where you really learn where the problems are within yourself or other people. So the failures give you an opportunity to go find a new solution, right? And every time you go find a new solution, it literally forces you to get better. Some people look at that failure and some people look at those mistakes and they quit. They complain. They say it can't be done. You know, real serious entrepreneurs and high performance entrepreneurs realize, okay, I made a mistake. I made a failure. Where's the problem? Let me identify it. Can I solve this problem myself? Do I have the solution myself? If I don't, who can I reach out to? Who are my resources that I can reach out to help me solve this issue? And then we don't stop until we get it solved. We never quit. We never fold. We never complain. Sometimes we maybe complain for a few minutes, but we know we can't do it for days, weeks, and months. We got to get right back focused and solve this issue. So for me, when it comes to failure, I understand that it's a part of the game. You know, keep my faith that it's all going to work out and just keep getting to work and get it done.
Gotcha. Tell me how you stay mentally strong through adversity.
So yeah, staying mentally strong through adversity, I like to use some game that I got from Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins says that we don't focus on life. We focus on, no, let me take that back. Tony Robbins says we don't live life. We live the life we focus on. That's it right there. So let me back up. Like how I
Unpack
deal.
that.
Yeah. Let me back up so that can flow right. You know, how I deal with the adversity is some game that I got from Tony Robbins where he says, we don't live life. We live the life we focus on, right? So when I'm dealing with some adversity, or if I'm dealing with some stuff that just ain't working and I'm making mistakes and I'm failing, if I'm even failing consistently, because that's what adversity, like you got to build up from, because you went down to some place, you have a choice to make. Are you going to focus on all of the mistakes you made in the past and just let that keep beating you up day after day after day? So you're allowing the past to affect your thinking process in the present, which is now ruining your future. So I'm not going to focus on that. What I am going to do is just analyze the situation, understand that was a mistake or failure that I went through in the past. And what I'm going to do is focus on the winning aspect of this situation. So I just got to find a solution and I'm going to start winning. I'm going to focus on the good that happened with this situation. You know, we could decide to focus on everything that's bad, or we could decide to focus on everything that's good. Bob Proctor teaches us what? Harvest the good.
Yep.
Right? So every mistake or failure that you go through, especially as an entrepreneur or even in your personal life, there's good somewhere in there if you decide to focus on it. So that's how I deal with adversity. I just decide to focus on the good. And the more that I focus on, that's what expands. So if I focus on the good expands. The good expands. It keeps growing. And then next thing you know, I'm going to manifest myself out that situation by focusing on the good, taking action on that good, and boom, that adversity done with.
It's out of there. Heard that. So when it comes to sales and high ticket closing, you know, tell me why you believe you're good at sales yourself.
Well, I believe I'm good at sales because my closing rate is just extremely, extremely high. Like, I never got into sales trying to learn how to fight off objections. Or I've never got into sales trying to like convince somebody to pay me. I never got into sales trying to sell strangers who don't know me. That's not how I started my business. My business started with giving free value first, giving education first, like helping people first, and helping people in a way that thousands of people can get help from my value, from my education. And then once people have seen what I'm capable of doing and how I can help them from a free standpoint, those people was able to take that information, implement it, and started winning. So by the time they got to me and wanted to actually talk to me and actually work with me and actually get on a sales call with me, it was never a hard sell for me, right? So I consider myself a good salesperson or good at sales, not just because of my conversation skills or my tonality skills on the call or because I know how to handle objections. No, I'm good at sales because I create a framework around my sales process. I have a framework around my sales calls. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to tussle with anybody to try to have them prove that they could sell better than me by looking at a list of cold leads who don't know who I am, and let's prove it like that. That's not what I'm about. I'm about actually real life, high closing rate. And I don't care how good you claim yourself to be as a salesperson. It's only about the numbers of the sales that's been closed that's actually invoice paid in a bank account, right? So I consider myself good at sales because of the results that I'm able to accumulate through my sales process.
Nice. So, that sales process, that framework that you talked about, what system do you have in place that allows you to close high tickets so easily using the framework that you have?
Right. Yeah. So I'm just following up what I said earlier. The framework that I have that allows me to close high ticket is the trust I've already built with them when they get on a call with me. Right. Because somebody who's willing to pay me 10 grand, somebody who's willing to pay me 25 grand, like I do have a $25,000 offer. Well, nobody's going to pay me $25,000 if they don't like, know, or trust me. It's not happening. Nobody's going to come in as a cold lead and say, hey, here goes $25,000 CJ, you know what I'm saying? Sign me up. It don't work like that. And that's why so many people are struggling in closing high ticket sales because they don't understand the framework. They think that they could just come up with a product, come up with a service that they think in their head is worth 10, 20K and just start running around talking to random people trying to get them to buy it. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So the way I'm able to close high ticket sales is the value ladder that I have created with these people to where they was able to learn something from me from free, implement that, got $5,000, $10,000 worth of value from my free stuff. Then they bought something for like $500. And then for $500, they was able to get like thousands of dollars of value from that. Bought something else for maybe $1,500, got thousands of dollars worth of value from that. And they like, okay, if I was able to only spend this small amount of money with CJ and I was able to get these type of results, 10x my investment. Okay, if I invest $10,000, $20,000 with him, they can actually see in their own mind the type of value they're going to get if they make that type of investment. So when they reach out to me and we actually get on these sales calls, again, these people are primed and ready. My sales calls are more like, hey, CJ, send me the invoice. Like I'm in your ecosystem. I see what you're about. I've been watching you for years. I've been through your value ladder. I know what's going on. And these sales calls are more of people telling me that they ready, right? That they're ready to move forward. And they've already made the logical decision in their mind that the money makes sense because they already spent money with me and got the value. And they've already made the emotional decision in their mind because they like, hey, CJ's high ticket offer is what I need to really break through to that next level. Like, and when you spend high ticket, when they spend $10,000, $25,000 with me, they know they got to commit. That's another reason why the price is so high, because if you really want me to work with you one-on-one and implement my entire system into your business, I want you to spend so much money with me that it makes you nervous after you pay the invoice to where you be like, oh shit, am I ready to do this? And you're like, yeah, I spent so much money, I have to do this because I need you to commit. That's the only way the high ticket gonna work. It's not just about you paying the invoice. It's like after I give you the game, I need you to go execute and implement it. And so like high ticket is some real deal stuff. And it's only gonna really get closed as far as I'm concerned with people who already know me, people who I've already built trust with, and people that I've already gave massive amounts of value with, before we even got into the sales call of a high ticket client.
Got you. Man, with that being said, I've seen a lot of content where you just seem like you're not even worried about the sale as far as, trying to make sure a person buys this or that. Why don't you care if people buy from you or not?
Man, I never have. Like, again, going on almost 10 years in business, bro, we do 7 figures every single year with no issue. I don't run ads. I never been consistent on YouTube. I never been consistent on Instagram. I never been consistent on any social media platform. I never ran webinars consistently. I never ran challenges consistently. And I just have years of work to show that I close sales without putting that much effort in there. Because again, it's about my framework. I have a framework that allows me to give so much value to so many people that they get so much return at such a low cost, all the way down to free, that when they come to me, again, they already ready to buy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm never sweat nobody to sign up with any of my programs. I rarely work with anybody that's outside of the CJU ecosystem because I don't want to go into a tussle with nobody. I don't want to convince nobody to work with me. I don't want to try to pull teeth to get these people to pay me. I don't care. Here's why. The value that I know that I have, I've already transformed my life with it. So I know it works. If no one buys it, I'll just keep using the information I know on myself and just keep getting better, right? So I know it works, okay? So a lot of people who are fighting for sales all the time and like worried about sales all the time, and they like, you can feel the commission on their breath. That's what we say in sales. Like you could feel when they talking to you, trying to close you, you could just feel how they just going for that commission and they don't really care about you. People can feel that on the other side, right? And the reason why people have that type of energy about them where they need to close that sale is because they haven't put enough value and trust into that person before they spoke to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's because that person who's trying to make that sale hasn't been through the transformation themselves. And they don't believe it. So when you actually been through the transformation that you're selling, you be like, bro, take it or fucking leave it. Because I know the value of it. And I know what I'm charging you for 10K is a drop in a bucket for what I'm about to give you. So I know my 10K offer is worth 100 grand. So if this person on a call can't see it, can't recognize it, can't feel it, I don't want them in my program. I don't need them second guess. I don't need them to try to close the deal and then be second guessing me. Hell no. I need you to be ready soon as you pay the invoice so we can launch and take off. So again, I know the value of it. So if someone doesn't see that immediately, I'm not gonna work hard to convince them. Tap in whenever you're ready.
It sounds like the framework of your value ladder is structured so strategically that it basically does the work for you. And you're also saying that that's exactly what you teach potential high ticket coaches to do. It's just to replicate what you've already proven works.
Exactly.
Okay. So with that being said, for someone who's looking to be a high ticket coach or, these aspiring high ticket coaches, what do they need to invest in as far as, let me actually restructure that. For an aspiring high ticket coach, do you think they need to invest in high ticket programs first before they just go in to try to sell their offer?
Of course, absolutely. Because that's a good question. Because think about it. You got so many people running around here, especially here in Miami, that the first thing they want to do is, I got this for 10,000. I got this for 20,000. Who the fuck are you? And where's your case studies? Where's the results? Where's the testimonies? I don't care about no designer clothes you got going on. I don't care about any cars you rented or any condo you're renting out of, bro. I need the results and testimonials of what you're trying to sell me, right? And so again, the people who trying to sell high ticket have not been through the transformation themselves. And you know how I know they haven't went through the transformation themselves? Because they haven't purchased a high ticket offer themselves. They haven't spent $25,000 with a high performance coach.
Facts.
They ain't done it before.
Come on now.
Because if they did, it would come out in their pitch. It would come out in their framework. It would come out in their strategy. So if you're trying to get me to buy something from you for 20K and you tell me, yeah, bro, let's go meet up at Moxie's. You think you finna close me for $25,000 there, bro? At the bar? Like, no, you just trying to hit me up type shit? Hey, bro, what's your schedule, bro? Can we just hop on a Zoom real quick? Like, you think you just finna close me for 25K like that on a Zoom call, like in one conversation? And I don't know anything about your program and what it's done for other people? You see what I'm saying? How people approach me, I can already tell they have not been trained properly with a good system, with a good structure, with a good framework. The moment they even reach out to me, I could tell, bro, that's not how you're gonna close people for 25K. You gotta have your shit together before you even approach these people. And these people need to already have in their mind that you even worth that value, right? So again, back to your question, should they purchase high ticket? Absolutely. Before you try to charge somebody 20,000 plus, you need to spend $20,000 on coaching yourself. So when you swipe that card or you send that wire and you pay that price, you need to feel that nervousness, that anxiety of like, oh my God, I made this large purchase. I hope it works out, and all the fear and shit that comes from that, right? You need to go through that yourself, right? So when you charge somebody else that, you know that's the feeling they have, and that you know you need to go ahead and deliver the same way you wanted the person to deliver on you that you paid. So if somebody hasn't invested in high ticket themselves, I will never tell them to go out and try to sell a high ticket, because they'll never have the energy to get it done. It'll come out to the person they talking to that they're not a high performance person. So even if I gave my high ticket offer to somebody that I felt like never did high ticket coaching, even though my offer is good and got the value, I don't think they'll be able to close it and get it done. They need to go through the full program themselves first.
100% agree with that. Tell us how you deal with objections when selling high ticket offers.
Good. It's like we talked about earlier. I ain't dealing with objections. You know, I'm not dealing with objections, even though I know that's a huge sales strategy. Now, I think handling objections is very important when you're dealing with cold leads. Like if you're doing door-to-door sales, you better know how to do objections. You better know how to handle objections if you're dealing with door-to-door sales. You better know how to deal with objections if you're cold calling a list, right? Or if you're dealing with cold emails or something like that, or you're just talking to people that don't know you or your business, your brand, or your product that much. But those people could use your help. If you can close this sale, you could really help those people, but they just not all the way bought into you yet. Yes, learning how to handle objections is very important for people in those industries. The industry that I'm in, which is high performance business coaching, again, I'm looking to attract my clients. I'm looking to give so much that the type of clients that I want to work with are just attracted to me. They see what I have to offer. They hear what I say. They see the results. They see my case studies. They've seen what I've done with so many other people, right? The proof is out there. And again, I've attracted to them and they came to me ready. So again, therefore, when we're on the sales call, it's not me fighting back and forth with objections. It's more about me and them having a conversation, me knowing more about them, me asking them about their goals, what they want to achieve. You know what I'm saying? Like where they trying to go with the results that they think I can get for them. We actually having those type of conversations. And then I'll give them what I believe that I could do for them based off what they tell me. And then we go ahead, send the invoice, close the sale, and move forward. There actually ain't no objection handling inside of my game because it's not set up like that.
That was a great answer. I love it. So we touched on sales. I think what the majority of people out there know you for is your marketing, even if they're not even aware of that's why they know you. You're a great marketer. And, when it comes to marketing, why do you believe you're so good at it?
Again, years of experience. You know what I'm saying? I got the numbers to back it up, right? Again, we got so many people out here that saying, I can blow your business up, I can blow your brand up, I can do this, but it's like, let's let the numbers do the talking, right? So I'm not gonna have a video of me in front of a whiteboard teaching that does 500,000 views if I'm not good at marketing. I'm not gonna have, millions of watch time hours on my YouTube channel if I'm not good at marketing. You know, I'm not gonna have 80,000 plus subscribers. I'm not gonna have all these people that reached out to me that want to work with me if I'm not good at marketing. So that's really my answer is my numbers, my results, and how I was able to be in business so long. Okay. Now, my technique when it comes to marketing is being myself. And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with when it comes to marketing. Because when a camera is in their face, oh shit, I got to be somebody else. Oh shit, maybe I got to be like super professional when I'm really not that type of professional person. I'm more laid back. I'm more chill. Like I'm professional as far as being organized and being respectful and hardworking. But if I'm not really like that, it's going to show up on camera. If I'm trying to be somebody I'm not. So when I first started marketing, all I did, bro, was be myself. And that came out to my audience. To when I used to get my first sales calls back in the day, man, CJ, I watch your content, I watch your YouTube, I watch your videos. Bro, you were so relatable. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. You're so relatable, bro. Like, I was able to understand you, bro. Like, you talk like you from my hood. Or you talk like you in my family. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like if I'm coming out authentic on camera, just being myself, not even switching up for the camera, and I'm just being myself, I feel like people on the other side who watch this gonna be able to see that and feel that. Like, you know, people trying to finesse so many people's mindset and their psychology now. Like everybody caught up with that shit. Just be yourself and let people decide on their own. And that's another good reason why I'm good at marketing, because I use a very simple strategy of just being myself, being authentic, being unique. Because if I do that, that makes me number one. I'm not comparing my marketing skills to other marketers. As long as I'm me, I'm number one because I'm only being me. You know what I'm saying? I'm staying in my own lane. You already know. And then when I stay in my own lane, it ain't never no traffic.
I definitely think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs or content creators or just people in general shoot themselves in the foot when, you know, the camera comes on and all of a sudden they try to be this person who they think everybody wants them to be. And, you know, at the end of the day, that means you don't even believe in yourself if you're not being yourself. You know, if you have value to offer, if you got some good game, some good sauce to drop on somebody, drop it being you. If you're trying to be the person that you think everybody wants, even if it works for a little while, it's eventually going to catch up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Just my opinion. So with that being said, you know, if you're marketing something, you got to have something to sell. So when it comes to offers, why do you believe you're good at creating offers?
I believe I'm creating offers because they convert. You know what I'm saying? Again, I got the track record and the results to show how my offers continually close, and I don't have to put as much effort into marketing as much as most people. And I feel like if you got an offer that deliver results, you'll never have a problem with traffic. You just won't. Again, I've been in business, you know, going on close to 10 years. I've never, not 1 year in business, had a month where I was like, wow, I'm not getting any traffic. Like nobody wants to work with me. Nobody's hitting me. It never happened. I mean, if it ever did happen, you would see more ads of me. I never get a chance to like invest in cranking up ads because my organic lead flow is enough for me to make a living. Right? I mean, it even shows in me not being that consistent with content. My organic lead flow has been out of control for 8+ years. You know what I'm saying? So if my offer did get results, it would show in my leads coming in. But the word of mouth referral at CJU is so strong. Because again, when we get one person results with our offer, what they gonna do? Tell somebody else and tell somebody else and tell somebody else and tell somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So what makes my offer so good is I try to get wins as fast as possible. So soon as somebody spends some money with us, I want them to get a quick win, right? I want them to see their return on investment happen very fast. And I know if I can get some quick wins, some quick results early, it'll keep them around more, and then they'll stay invested to see some medium to big size wins that come later. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I package up my offers to make sure they deliver results. Because you got some people over here that just want to do sales and make money and say, oh, look at me, look how much money I made this month. But can you show how many people winning and get results to match those sales you getting? You know what I'm saying? So I love my offer because we know over here at CJU, our offer deliver results. You come tap in with us, we will make sure you get your credit right. We will make sure you get funding. We will make sure that when you get that funding, we have a system in place to help you get inside digital marketing and get go high level and all your stuff set up to organize and grow and scale your business. We know how to do all that.
Yeah, man. I mean, one word I've heard a million times since we started is results. And I love it because, that means that the CJU brand, CJU Systems, is results driven. It leaves very little room for opinion when the results speak for themselves. So I was looking through a little bit of your content and, I heard you say one thing that really jumped out to me, and that was finding your avatar. So what do you mean when you say you have to find your avatar, and why is that crucial for success?
Yeah, so for those new entrepreneurs out there who don't know what that means, like finding your avatar, that in sales and business, that just means finding your audience or finding your ideal audience and what that person will look like, right? So you need to know who you're talking to, right? Because most people start as an entrepreneur, they create a product or they create a service, and they say, I'm about to post some content, and I hope some people tap in, right? But it's really about who do you want to tap in? Who's your avatar? Meaning, who is your ideal customer? Who is your ideal client? And then once you can identify that ideal customer or client, then that then turns into your audience of people. Like you have a target, you have a niche, you know who you're going to deliver your message to. And when you could define that, now you're going to attract the people who want what you're offering. Because, for an example, if you got a car detailing company, right? You detail cars and you're just blasting it out there, right? And cool, it comes to me, but you're steady sending content to me. You steady trying to get me on the phone. You steady trying to get me on a sales call for your car detailing company. I ain't got a car. So would I be your avatar? Would I be your ideal customer? Would I be your ideal client? Even though you're good, even though you got a good business at detailing cars, I don't have a car. So you're constantly trying to sell somebody that's not your ideal avatar. So what you want to do, if we're using the car detailing example, you want to contact people that have not just a car, multiple cars, right? I want to talk to some people that got a bunch of cars, that got nice cars, that got the money, that really want it cleaned all the time, you know what I'm saying? And want it cleaned the best possible way. And so you need to create something that matches that, And so some people just get out there and go too broad and don't focus on the people who want their message. And I'll wrap it up with this, speaking for CJU. When I first started, my avatar was people that look like me, people that look like me, that grew up like me, and they didn't have no money, and they needed their credit fixed. And if they can get access to some capital through their credit, they can go leverage it and invest into themselves and live a better life. So my avatar was just looking at me. I want to work with people that's like me. And I think that's a great way to start. And so when I first started my business, I was helping a bunch of Black people in the hood change their life through credit and mindset, just like I did for myself. So those are my ideal people at CJU. Now we talk about CJU Systems. Who's my avatar? Well, my avatar for CJU Systems is entrepreneur that has had some years of experience in business, that has some knowledge of a specific skill set that gets results for people, and they need help turning that into a product or a service and create an automated system to help them reach a lot of people that doesn't take a lot of their time so they can 10x their income. That's my avatar for CJU Systems. So I know who to target, who to talk to, who to deliver my message to. And those are the type of people I want to attract. So therefore, I'm working with clients that I want to work with, right? Because if you don't know who your avatar is and you're just trying to make sales to anybody, you might end up closing those sales and getting the money. And then you end up working with people you don't even want to work with. And then you end up building a business that you hate. So you want to make sure you know exactly who your audience is and your avatar is, your ideal client is, because it'll make your whole business go better later.
Because we're looking for results, right?
Right.
Let's go. So when we're talking framework, because you talked about that a lot today, when we're talking framework, I've only heard of maybe only one more person, and he was also a very successful high performance coach, just like yourself, mentioned this type of framework. But you talked about a framework called LAPS. So can you explain what the LAPS framework is and how it applies to business growth?
Yeah, great question. So I got the concept LAPS from my mentor who I study all the time, Daniel Presley. And LAPS is LAPS. It stands for leads, appointments, presentations, sales, right? So you want to be able to track that, right? You want to be able to track your LAPS, right? So basically with the L is we need to be able to track the leads, because if you're not tracking your leads, that's a problem in itself, right? That's a whole coaching moment. Then next from leads, we need to track A, which is appointments. So how many of those leads have booked appointments? And we need to track that, okay? Now out of those appointments, you know what I'm saying? We want to see how many that really got the presentation. Or you could just track presentations of how many that you put out there in like webinars. You know, how many times have you put your presentation out there? You know what I'm saying? Can we track that? How many times you presented it? You know what I'm saying? Because you can also go back and have people book appointments, but they never showed up to the appointment too, to see the presentation, right? So you want to track that. And then the S is the sales. Okay, how many sales have we closed? Okay, so if you just break your business down like that and be like, let me track all my leads, all my appointments, all the people that seen the presentation, all the people that seen the presentation that close into a sale. Now you got some good tracking, some good data to know where your business is lacking it and where your business is winning it, right? Because if you can look at the number of leads you got coming in, you should be able to see the drop off from leads to appointments, and from appointments to the presentation, appointment, and sales. And then wherever you see that drop off at, you go right in there and you fix that, right, in your numbers. And then wherever you see the consistent wins at, you just keep doubling down on what's already winning. But again, if you're not tracking your laps, you don't really know what to excel at in your business, and then you don't know what to fix in your business either. And then you can get into a cycle of like being very stagnant. So that's where that come from.
Got it. I mean, great. Like I said, I've only heard one other person, which is Daniel Presley, even, present framework in that aspect. Now, with that being said, that type of framework is something that most likely, it's like a 99% chance that you're going to get results from that. And that ties into the systems that you've been talking about. So why do you believe that you're good at creating systems? Just piggybacking off of you talking about the LAPS framework.
Got you. So the reason why I believe I'm good at making systems, because I made a good one for myself, right? So the system that I made for myself gets results, right? So when somebody goes through my system and they get ready to sign up for a high ticket offer from me, a high ticket program from me, it's not hard for me to sell them on a high ticket program because they actually went through my system, right? So if I look at my numbers, to look at all the high ticket people I close every single month, and these high ticket sales are coming through the system that I built, that's how I know the system is good, because it get results. So for my high ticket clients, what I'm doing is helping them not reinvent the wheel. Listen, guys, you're trying to make high ticket sales 10K, 20K plus. You don't know how to do it. If you did, you would be selling them. I close them every single month, right? So all I need to do is give you my high ticket sales framework, my high ticket sales system. I just need to implement it in what you already got, and then we're gonna watch it work. Okay, it's really that simple. And so, an example of a system that I created that I know is really good is the one that I created with Go High Level and the funding industry. I know I'm one of the first ones to create a system that combine Go High Level and credit. You know how I know? Because I'm one of the first credit educators in the game. I was around 2016, 2017, 2018. These people you see today, they wasn't around. We could check the receipts. They were at work, 9 to 5s. I was outside playing with them credit bureaus and building credit years before the pandemic. And then once I seen people start to excel in credit, 2020, 2021, I had already left the credit game and moved over to digital marketing and SaaS. So there's no way anybody from the credit industry that just learned credit in 2020 could have jumped into digital marketing and SaaS when I did, because they were still learning credit. And it takes years to learn credit and years to learn funding. I had already learned that years prior. So I'm able to combine software, SaaS, systems, Go High Level, and credit. And I was able to make a system. A lot of people in the credit game, to look at somebody's credit profile, they still got to ask them for their login, username, password, and shit like that. I've developed a system at Go High Level. You don't have to do that. I created a system to where they could just upload their credit reports in a certain way to where that process can speed up. Most people still have to talk to their leads to do a credit analysis. They got to set up a Zoom and get on Zoom and talk to them and take time and hours, or outsource it and spend money for somebody else to do that. I develop a system where you don't have to do that. You just use the first part of my system, have them upload their credit report the way we tell them do it. Then once they do that, in part of the system, we do a Loom recorded video of the analysis. And then we just take that link, put it inside of our system, paste the link, and just send it to the client. Boom, they can watch the analysis on their own time. So we save time, not text, and them saving them time, texting them back and forth, trying to get their login information when we just gave them clear instructions on how to give us their credit report. Then we also saved ourselves time and saved them time by not having to get on a call to do the credit analysis together, because we doing Loom recorded videos that goes inside our software CRM that they get. And then from there, they could just reach out to us if they want to move forward. That simple ad in a system saves hours of work. Now, again, it's simple to me, but I could go to a bunch of credit people and say, build what I just said, and let me see how long it takes you to build it, and let me see if it's good. I'm sure a lot of people will fail. You know what I'm saying? Unless they came through CJU Systems and learned how to do it, and then now they can go off and take off. So again, I build systems for the credit game. Now I build systems for high ticket coaches. And that's why I'm shooting this type of content, to like prove that I'm that good. You know, if I'm spitting on it in public, I want people to come try it, test it out, and then, you know, we'll let the people decide.
Got you. So you mentioned both Loom and
Zoom
just a minute ago. Why do you prefer Loom over Zoom calls for business operations in general?
That's a great question, because not enough entrepreneurs are utilizing Loom at all, right? And I talk to entrepreneurs every single day.
And tell us what Loom is one more time.
Yeah. So what Loom is, Loom, you guys just Google it. Loom is just a screen recorder. Very simple. It just records your screen. And then once it records your screen, it saves it as a video that turns into a quick link that you can send to people. And it does some other cool stuff too. But overall, it's just a screen recorder. So people are not using this. They're not recording their screen, because you could just create value just from recording a video and sending it to somebody. And the value can be just saving time. As entrepreneurs, we don't have that much time. You know what I'm saying? So we want to cut as much bullshit time as we can out. And sometimes Zoom calls are bullshit. Nice. You know, people don't want to be on Zoom calls all the time, bro. We busy as hell, especially if it's not a Zoom call to get some paper. It's a Zoom call just to talk about oh, we need to talk about this little operation thing here and there, and we need to just fix this little thing here and there, fix this. Hey, the boss don't have time for that shit. The boss got to make other moves in the business. They don't have time to be on Zoom calls all the time about little tedious shit that's going on in the business. So what we need you guys to do is find out what's wrong, go to Loom, screen record the issue. Once you screen recorded the issue, send that link to who it needs to get sent to. Then that person can watch the Loom video on their own time, go solve the issue. Once the issue is solved, they can make a Loom video and send it to the person that they got it from at first and said, hey, here's a recording video of me solving the issue that you sent to me earlier. And they can just write back, thank you. So that Loom over Zoom, what I call it, allows people to work more efficiently, quickly, and save time, because when we do Loom calls, they mean our schedules have to match, right? And my schedule's always loaded up. So if you just send me a Loom, hey, I might be taking a second to just go to the pool for a second. Or even yet, I might be going to the damn restroom taking a shit. While I'm using the restroom, I could be looking at your Loom video. I can't take a shit and be on Zoom with you at the same time. I could be using the restroom, looking at that Loom and be like, oh, okay, cool. This person needs me to do this and that. Okay, once I'm done wiping my ass, I'll get up on the computer and get that done real quick, send it to them, and then we can move forward, right? And I was able to do that quickly because I didn't have to sit and wait on fucking Zoom calls for them to tell me the problem first and then got to solve it. It's sometimes a waste of time. So all you bosses and CEOs, entrepreneurs, I'm telling you, implement this strategy in your business. I'll give away something for free to show y'all. You know, I put a little quick little system together to show y'all how I use it. And I want you entrepreneurs to implement this, and you guys to realize that you should be cutting out a lot of Zooms that you're doing when you could just tell people, send you a Loom video and move forward from there.
Got you. All 2025, the new slogan, Loom me, don't Zoom me.
Yeah.
Heard that. All right. So I think this is what the people are here for right here. We want you to tell us what the 4 essential product ecosystem is and why is it so powerful? Got you.
Okay. So the 4 essential product ecosystem, again, it's a framework that I model from Daniel Presley. It's a phenomenal framework that changed the game for me. And it changed the game for how I coach a lot of entrepreneurs and high performance coaches. So basically what it is we're creating 4 products that create an ecosystem for your business. All right. And so I'll run through it fairly quickly. The first product is what we call a gift. Okay. The gift purpose is to grab attention. And what we mean by gift is giving it away for free. All right. So what could be a gift? A gift could be a YouTube channel giving away high value information, education. That's a gift, free game. A gift could be, a PDF of a step-by-step, value add. A gift could be a book. You could be giving a book away for free. Shit, it could be a free course. It could be anything of some type of value with no strings attached, meaning you are giving this away to people and you're not asking for anything in return. Maybe they just got to give you name and email, phone number so you can send it to them and you got their data, but there's no real strings attached to where you asking them for money. It's a completely free gift. And for a lot of you guys out there who don't have a big brand or known business that produces results, and the first thing you want to do is charge people thousands of dollars, bro, you need to give some shit first. People don't know you. So people are more inclined to spend bread with you if you give them some first. And then when we go back to the attention part, give away a bunch of free shit and watch how much attention you get. It works, right? So I've been giving away free stuff for, again, almost a decade. So that's the first product. The second product is what we call product for prospect. Okay? So the point of the product for prospect is that's where you build some trust. Okay? So this is where you're going to create a low risk, low barrier to entry product. Okay? So this could be, again, a book for like $7, mini course, $17, $27. Very low commitment. right? Not a lot of money. You know, it could be anywhere between $5 up to, you know, 100, 250 bucks. Just kind of a low commitment that people are willing to take a risk out there just to know more about you, right? And so this product is to get you to get that prospect to build a little trust with you, because they're going to make a little commitment and make that little payment. And you want to make sure that that payment they made for that low product was packed with value, right? Because they're like, holy shit, I only spent $17 with this person and I got thousands of dollars worth of game. That's how you build trust with them, right? And then it lets them know a little bit more about what you're capable of doing. So now your product has turned them into a prospect. That's the second one. Then the third one is your core offer, okay? So your core offer is the transformation, okay? This is your bread or butter. This is the bulk of the money you make in your business. This is your high ticket coaching program. This is your most expensive thing that you got that's really keeping the lights on, that people are buying and loving. And most importantly, it's a transformation, okay? This is when people said, I'm spending the big bucks with you, bro. I need you to change my whole situation I got going on. Like for me, again, that's my high ticket program. So you guys want to think about your core offer that y'all are selling, right? And one thing I want you to think about is, does my main offer that I'm selling people, does it change people's situation? Does it change their lives? Right? Are you just selling something to just help people make money? Are you just selling stuff to just try to make yourself make money? Or are you actually selling something that you know will change somebody's entire life? And if you could think about your offer like that, to where it's transformational, people are willing to spend a lot of money on that, just like Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins sells a transformation. You spend $1 million with him, he gonna change all your stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what high performance coaches do. They get paid a lot of money to change everything about a person, transform them, right? So that's the third product, is your core offer that creates a transformation for the person that's tapping in with you. Meaning they started here and they feel like if they buy your core product or your core offer, you're gonna take them way up there. You're gonna change all of that and transform them. So that's the fourth one. That's the third one. And the fourth one is product for client. So this is where, when that prospect has moved up and they purchased your core offer and now they became a client, they signed up with you, they working with you, you're getting ready to change their whole situation. And now you have something to keep them engaged with you after they bought your core offer and your big purchase. Like for us, it's a software, it's a subscription service to what they're gonna need to continue to run the back end of their business. All right, it could be a community subscription. It could be some type of quarterly or annually meetup retreat that keeps them reoccurring and keeps them engaged in your ecosystem. So that's called a product for client. All right, so you're gonna tap into that once you get more people to buy your core offer. But again, you won't get a lot of people to buy your expensive core offer if they haven't spent a little money with you at your product for prospect. And you might not be able to get people to even buy a product from you unless you gave them something for free. So that's how it works. It's called the 4 essential product ecosystem. And it's basically a value ladder, a value add, a step-by-step to get people to rock with you all the way through. And it's basically called an ascending transaction model as well, because it's taking a person that have purchased one thing from you or got one thing from you and decided to make multiple more purchases with you. And a lot of coaches and entrepreneurs don't have that in place. That's why people buy one thing from them and then they gone. They off somewhere else because they don't have this framework set up to keep the same person purchasing multiple things from them.
Woo. That was a lot to unpack. That was powerful. So name the 4 again, just to recap for people. You have the gift.
Gift is number 1. That's the first product. The second product is called product for prospects.
Product for prospect.
The third one is your core offer. And the fourth one is product for client.
Got you. All right, just moving on a little bit. Tell us why it's important to have leaders instead of just employees on your team.
Yeah, because if you really want to become a high performance entrepreneur, right? A highly successful entrepreneur, a highly successful business owner, and grow a big brand, it's going to be very difficult to do that when you just only got task pushers in your camp, on your team. What we mean by task pushers is they don't do anything until you give them a task, right? They just people that you got because they're cheap labor and you don't want to spend no money on talented people. So you just got a bunch of cheap people around you that's not creative, that don't think outside the box, that don't go out and implement something that the business and brand can use to move forward. They just there to be there, right? They just an employee and they'll just be like, man, whatever bread I can make out of this, I'm cool with. So if you want to become a high performance entrepreneur, a high performance business owner, you need those type of leaders inside your team because they're going to keep you moving at that high performance rate that you want to move at. Okay, you can't perform at high performance levels when you got to always keep coming down working with lower level people. And if these lower level people are on your team, it's not gonna have you performing at the level you want to. So if you change your mindset and change your thought process to say, you know what, I'm gonna stop looking for just employees. I'm gonna start looking for leaders. I want to hire leaders, not employees. You know, and if it costs me more money to do that, I gotta be willing to put that bread up to get it done because I can pay this person $1,000 a month to get these amount of results. I could pay this person $5K a month, and the gap from the results and the performance I'm gonna get of paying this person $5K a month is gonna exceed way more than trying to work with this lower level person. Okay, so when you add leaders inside of your team, they are the ones that's gonna go out and be creative. They are the ones that's gonna go out and do the thinking for you. They're gonna bring something to the table that you didn't tell them to do because they're leaders, and leaders think. Leaders look for problems and then look for solutions, and you didn't even have to tell them to do that. And if you got an army of leaders on your team and not just employees, those people are what I like to call A players. You know what I'm saying? I like A players, and that's how you win a championship. That's how you win with leaders.
So how do you find and attract A players to your team?
Yeah, good question. Through my experience, I'm focused on this a lot more in 2025. A players are at business conferences. Like A players are at business networking events. And I know a lot of people get burnt out on those. It'd be like, man, another event, another conference. It'd be a bunch of people that are just wasting time. Not necessarily, because the people who spent time and money to show up at these conferences in Las Vegas, in Miami, or Atlanta, or Houston, those are people that's trying to get somewhere. And even though they might not be the super successful people, the ones that's just in the crowd, they're aspiring leaders. Yeah. You know, so if you don't have a budget to hire a big dog, man, go catch the ones that's at the conferences, right? They actually have value because they're there. Now, depending on what conference you go to, like for me, earlier this year, I went to the last Funnel Hacking Live, the ClickFunnels event, Russell Brunson's last one. I seen the biggest A players in the world.
Yep.
I seen the biggest, baddest digital marketers in the world. They were right there. I could have shook their hand. I could take pictures with them. They there. You know, so you could be one connection away, one conversation away. Like you could make a pitch in front of those high performance people. Man, they there because you might not be able to get them on a fucking phone call, get them on a Zoom call. So them A players be at the right conferences and the right events. So I encourage a lot of you guys who trying to hit the next level, get off your fucking ass and go buy the plane ticket. Go pay for the hotel, go put the clothes on and go to the damn conference. That's where the A players at.
Man, speaking of getting off your ass and getting to it, let's transition to something we call brand authority. Mm-hmm. So tell me how powerful is a YouTube channel for a business coach, and why should every entrepreneur consider having one?
It's game changer. And again, I'm not a YouTube coach that ain't got a pop in YouTube. You know what I'm saying? YouTube is how I made my first $1 million. Coming from the north side of Houston, Texas, you know, the last job I had was making $8 an hour working at Finish Line selling shoes. And I go from making $8 an hour to making $1 million a year. How did that happen? Number one, God, right? And a lot of other things as far as developing my skills and value. But without YouTube, it don't happen, because YouTube gives me the opportunity to provide my value and information to millions of people, bro. Like, YouTube is a search engine. It is one of the most powerful search engines in the world. It is owned by Google, meaning people actually go search for information on YouTube. So if you have a business and you have a brand and you're not on YouTube, in my world, you're not even in the game. That's what I'm gonna say. I mean, there's a difference between an Instagram guru and a YouTube business coach. Instagram gurus got to pound Instagram every single day. Click this link, click this link, click this link, comment this, just to get you as a lead or a client. A YouTube coach is long form. We got value. We teach. Like, we give game away. We don't care if you click a link or not. You know what I'm saying? And if you're using YouTube in that way, with giving real sauce, you know, you're going to 10x your business. So, and it's a great way to build your brand. Come on, man. YouTube is where it's at.
I mean, you know, to get all of this stuff going, you definitely got to be in the right mindset. So, you know, what's the biggest mistake you see entrepreneurs making today in 2025?
The biggest mistake is the fear of failure, to be honest with you. I know it's basic. I know that answer been around for decades, and it still holds true today in 2025. The fear of failure. I don't want to make my YouTube channel because I ain't got the best camera. I don't want to make my YouTube channel because I don't want people to talk shit about me. I don't want to make my YouTube channel because I'm not going to get a lot of views and not a lot of subscribers. And that's just all fear of failure. And it's like, well, we all started from 0 views.
And people have that fear of content, period, don't they?
They just have the fear. It's just fear. And that's the biggest mistake I see people make, is they're not taking enough action. There's so much analysis paralysis going on. They on TikTok all day just scrolling, on YouTube all day just scrolling, on Instagram all day just scrolling, and they don't take any action at all. So that's just the biggest mistake, is people are afraid to jump off the porch and take some action. Once you take action, you'll see some results, and then that's going to build your confidence when you actually bust a move.
Do you think a brand new entrepreneur in 2025 survives without putting the effort into content creation as far as social media goes?
If they just starting, I don't think so. I'll say this. The only way in 2025 somebody is going to survive without posting content online is you better be linking up with somebody that do. You better be working with influencers. You better be working with people building a brand online. You better. You know what I'm saying? Unless you, and I ain't gonna knock nobody, because I'm sure somebody can say, I'll make a bunch of money without social media. I'm sure you can. I'm not gonna knock you. I'm just saying, for entrepreneurship, you know, if you got a product or service that's good, that works, why wouldn't you want to be on social media to share it to people, to like increase your impact and increase your income? So,
especially while it's free.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely free. Like, YouTube sends me a check every month from AdSense, right? So think about this. I'm getting paid by YouTube to promote my business.
I ain't never heard nobody put it that way. Never heard nobody put it that way. All right. So what's the first thing a new entrepreneur should do to get started today?
The first thing I recommend an entrepreneur do to get started today is get access to capital. Because in a game of entrepreneurship, when the money run dry, game over. Like, it's very, very difficult to stay rolling as an entrepreneur when the money's dried up, right?
Right.
So most entrepreneurs who getting started don't have any money, right? So I'm gonna tell you, get access to capital. And one of the best ways to get access to capital is getting your credit under control. Go get a 750 plus credit score. Build the proper relationships with banks and credit cards and loan companies, whatever you got to do to build that thing up to show that you got good borrowing history. And then get access to $50,000, $100K, you know what I'm saying? Just to have in your pocket, 0% interest. And so that's the very first thing I'm gonna always recommend people is get some money from the bank first. I ain't saying get it and just go in debt. Just have access to it. If you don't use it, you're not in debt. So number one is get access to the capital. Once you get access to the capital, my opinion, your very first investment needs to be into a coach or a mentor. Do not jump out here blowing money trying to figure shit out on your own. I'm gonna just go to YouTube and Google everything and not spend no money and try to figure it out on my own. No, definitely go get you some foundation and game for free. But when you're ready to actually make a move and be a real entrepreneur, you have to invest with somebody who's already done what you're trying to do so you can speed up that time frame of you getting the results you want, right? Because if you prolong that and don't spend the bread with a coach or a mentor, you still end up spending the money. Because you're going to spend the money in mistakes and failures just shooting, you know what I'm saying, in the air. Then you also going to lose what's more important than money. You're going to lose your time trying to figure it out when you could have just got access to some capital at 0% interest, paid somebody who already got the results you want, speed up the results, time frame, and save you some money from making fucking mistakes.
Sound like a simple formula to me.
Very simple.
All right, so let's bring this thing in for a landing. So, I mean, makes perfect sense. If you're a new entrepreneur, you know, make sure you get you some finances because if that faucet stops, it gets real sticky.
Should be
now,
tough.
For experienced entrepreneurs who feel stuck, like they're not moving, they plateaued, what should they do right now to break through and hit that next level in their business?
Got you. So experienced entrepreneurs who feeling stuck and need to hit the next level, well, those guys need to make sure they tap into a high performance coach. And I know that's a term I've been using a lot, you know, on this interview because what I learned from Tony Robbins is language patterns. And certain words have certain energy behind them. So when I say the word mentor, what type of energy do we feel? Right? I'm going to say that one more time. I hired a mentor.
Protection.
Okay. Now let's try another one. I hired a business coach. Okay. I hired a high performance coach. You see the difference?
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
When you said I hired a mentor, it's like, okay, you know, it was kind of like, you know, you feel like, you know, safe, protected. Like, okay, somebody's going to guide me. And then you said the second one was what, business coach?
Mm-hmm.
When you say business coach, all right, somebody to show me the ropes. But then that last one, what you say, a high performance coach? Results. Okay, now continue.
You can feel it.
I can feel it.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, Tony Robbins teaches us language patterns. Different words have energy behind them. So if you change the words or you ask yourself different questions, you get different results. So let me ask you a question. Hey, do you want a mentor or do you want a high performance coach? You see? Even when I say the words high performance coach, I have to bring more tonality into delivering the words because the words are so powerful. You know what I'm saying? So back to your question, the entrepreneurs that feel stuck and trying to really hit the next level, maybe they don't just need another mentor. Maybe they don't just need another business coach. What they need is a high performance coach, someone that can put their foot up their ass. Because what they really need is an accountability coach. We just covering it up with the word high performance coach. But what you really need is an accountability coach. You need somebody to hold you accountable. You've been an entrepreneur for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. You know what the fuck you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. But there's a reason why you're not doing it. And because there's a mental block right here of the failures and the mistakes and the long journey of entrepreneurship that's just been kicking your ass, and you focus so much on those down times that now it's created a mental block that's stopping you from taking action. And you like, I know I should be doing better. I know I should be making more income. I know I should have a bigger brand. I know I should have a bigger business. Why am I not doing the things I'm supposed to be doing? And that's when you need to make the decision to hire a high performance coach, which again, AKA is accountability coach, to hold you accountable for hiring your standards. So you got all the tools to grow the business and the brand. Your standards are too low. And because your standards are low because you set them, somebody has to come in with higher standards and implement that accountability inside of you to pull that dog out of you, to pull that fight out of you, to really get you performing at a high level. That's why you need a high performance coach.
Woo. Well, look, hey, CJ, man, this has been a dope conversation. You done dropped some real gems here. You done gave the people a lot of sauce to keep them from getting lost. Now, before we get up out of here, let the people know what's coming up next in CJU. What can they be expecting in 2025?
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? What they could be expecting is we finna do some workshops with my people, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes right here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pop that out, you know what I'm saying? I want to get into some more workshops, you know what I'm saying? And in order for me to get those workshops off, I need to produce some more content. I need to produce some more value. And I need to get more people involved at what we got going on at CJU Systems. Remember, CJU Systems is the branch off from the original CJU personal brand. And CJU System is the business brand. It's the place where the structure is there. It's the place where the system is there. It's the place where the framework is there. It's the place where the implementation and the execution is there. You know what I'm saying? That's what CJU Systems is. And so the main, heartbeat of CJU System is we want to be right there with you. Like we want to hold your hand. Mm-hmm. Now, do we want to do that with everybody? Absolutely fucking not.
Okay.
We only want to do that with high performance people. And if we know that you got the high performance in you, we just got to be there to hold you accountable and get it out. And the best way I could do that is to charge you a shit ton of money. Because when you pay a lot of money, you're going to pay a lot of attention. You're going to be locked in because you made a big investment. But if you're willing to make that big investment with us, we want to invite you down here to Miami. We want to set up the event. We want to feed you. We want to get you drinks. We're going to bring the cameras out. We're going to shoot the content. We're going to make sure your investment has the value behind it. And we want to create this workshop to where you could be right here next to me. You could sit right here, not just feel it on camera, but in-person energy. You know what I'm saying? We want you to be with the whole team. I want you to meet my guys who shoot the content that's behind the scenes. I want you to meet all my high performance people that I work with that keep me rolling so we can all really help you. You know what I'm saying? So that's really the next big things right now going on for CJU Systems is to get more people involved in person. We want to hang out with you. We want to kick it with you. We want to talk with you. We want to laugh with you. We want to have a drink with you. We want to break bread with you. You know what I'm saying? If you're spending big money, come meet me in person. Let's really hang out. Let's really kick it. And let's have some fun, right? And then let's also take care of some business. So that's going to be the next things you're going to see. A lot of new content, a lot of new free value and information to get people to come down here and rock with us in person so they can see this shit is the real deal. You know what I'm saying? No Holyfield. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, man, y'all heard it first right there, man. Look, man, this your boy, Will Taylor. You can thank me later, a.k.a. Supreme Ambitions. And, everything we heard today was no fluff, no excuses, just execution. Y'all soaked up the game here. Make sure you apply it. It's nothing but A players over here at CJU. Big salute to CJ, a.k.a. Chris Joseph University, man, for laying this out and giving me the opportunity to get this great interview with him. You know what I'm saying? So let's stay locked in. Let's stay learning. Let's stay leveling it up. Y'all know how we sign off over here at CJU.
Yeah, you already know. Hap, hap.
Let's go.